Hey, this is Tom Feldman with PlayCountryBlues.com, and in this video we are going to briefly talk about how to read and use tablature. Now, this is going to be geared to those of you who are probably newer in your walk with either learning the guitar or specifically looking at tablature. So this is going to be very basic. And first and foremost, you don't know what you don't know. What am I looking at? What should I look at first? What's most important, and what should I be focusing on, and how do I use it? First and foremost, we want to look at the tuning. When I first started learning how to play the guitar, I did not know that you could tune the guitar to anything other than standard tuning. I was trying to learn songs that were done in an open tuning. I was trying to learn them in standard tuning because, again, I didn't know that you could tune the guitar any other way. Nobody told me. I didn't have anyone giving me lessons. I was just buying recordings and trying to learn from the recordings. Well, one day I was in a music store. I picked up a tab book. I opened it up and I saw tuning at the top, which was not standard tuning. It was open G tuning. And it blew my mind. It was like, oh my gosh, you mean you can tune the guitar to something else? So that was my first introduction to knowing how to tune the guitar differently, was from a tab book. So again, number one is you want to look at the tuning. Now, the next thing that people do constantly is they just jump in and they start trying to play these numbers. Now, the number is the fret, and what string it is on is what string it is on. So this is the first fret on the second string. This is the third fret on the fifth string. And you just take that going forward. Before you start to just jump in on those numbers, be sure that you're looking at the chord, because all of this information is centered around this chord shape. I'm working with country blues, and you're almost always playing out of a chord shape. Now, other genres may be doing other things, but country blues, you're always in and around a chord shape. And so looking at the chords is going to determine what you're going to be playing for those measures. And that to me is so important. It's less important that you play all of the notes that are written in the tab. If you just play the chord changes, it's going to sound more or less like the song. After you get familiar with what the chord progression is, and you can start to hear the melody in that chord progression, then you're going to really have an easier time picking out those individual melodic notes. You're going to have an easier time adding the bass, whether it's alternating bass or monotonic bass. But it all stems from what chord am I playing? What am I holding? That's what I'm playing out of. That's what those numbers mean on the page. Now, the last thing I'm going to say here is, again, tab is for the learning phase. It is not for the playing phase. If you're going to be playing music, put the tab away and just play as best you can from what you remember. Focusing more on the chords rather than all of the notes is going to lock these songs in for you way better than if you're trying to look at the tab and playing all the notes and all of that sort of thing. You're not going to remember as many songs. If I am playing a set, I'm not thinking of all of the notes I need to play. I'm thinking of the song and the key. If I'm playing a Blonde Boy Fuller song, Meet Shaken Woman, okay, it's in the key of C. I know I need a C, an F, and a G. And so that's the mindset that I have. I'm not going, man, in this measure I have to do this, that, and the other. That's not how you play music, not this kind of music anyway. So use the tab for your basic learning phase, which is understanding the key, understanding the tuning, understanding the chord progression, and the chords that lie in that progression, knowing that all of those numbers in those measures are dictated by that chord shape, and then put the tab away and just begin to play the music. For those of you who may be coming to this video that aren't familiar with country blues, which is predominantly what I do, check out Blind Blake, Blind Boy Fuller, Son House, Charlie Patton, Robert Johnson, and that will lead you down the rabbit hole of so many other artists and so many other styles. All right, I hope that this has been helpful. Head on over to playcountryblues.com if you're interested in country blues lessons, and take care.